All right, we are live, everybody. It's Thursday night. We're live on the Cowlazars channel. It's K-Pro, it's Cow, it's all of you. How's everybody doing? K-Pro, how are you?
I'm fabulous. I'm a little tired, a little crazy at work, but that's okay. It's almost here. It's almost here.
What, World Series of Fenn?
No, and my world will go back to normal next Tuesday. So it's counting down the days, but I have to work this weekend. It's just gonna be a long couple of days.
Before I forget, let's do this.
Cowlazars, 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 Cowlazars. Come on, let's have some adventures. We'll spend days, we'll spend weeks, we'll spend months working our way through treasure hunts. Cowlazars, 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 Cowlazars. Mike drinks coffee a ton, feel free to send him some. Cowlazars, 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 Cowlazars. Watch Mike once, you'll wanna watch him again. James Frey once called him to talk Forrest Fenn.
Not really. But okay, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight on this Thursday night. Yeah, the original song. Joe Lewicki's in the chat.
Oh, did you see what he says?
He should come on and talk about identification of types of personal property, mislaid, abandoned, and lost. You should. That'd be actually a good idea.
You know what we could do? We could do a Clash of the Titans, Carter versus Joel.
Well, there was another lawyer that somebody reached out to me and said, hey, there's this guy that makes YouTube videos. He's from lawyer from Michigan. He does a variety of topics.
Right, we talked about
and
that.
I was going to reach out to him. So, Joel, I'd rather have you on. So let us know if maybe you could do that sometime. So, all right, everybody.
Monday.
Yeah, Monday. This Monday. Yeah, no pressure. So I want to remind everybody that Super Chat's on. You guys can say thanks by doing that. Or if you have a question that has to be answered, ask you guys to thumbs up the video. I guess YouTube likes that. I don't know. But it lets us know you like it, and that's more important.
Now, I do have to register a little bit of a complaint.
Yeah.
When we just say, hey, guys, have the goodness of your heart because you love us, give us a thumbs up, we get like anywhere from 60 to 100, 105. Mm-hmm. When we say we're going to play a clip if we get 200, we magically get 250.
It's all about goals, isn't it? But we're not playing a clip for a while, right? What?
Let's examine your question. What do you think the answer is to that?
No, I'm just saying, so you can let everybody know that no, we're not playing any new clips. We're playing the remainder of the clips we've already released on tonight's show. We got about 9 minutes left of clips.
About several of them.
Right, and we have not talked about several of them. That's correct. So we're going to play the rest of those tonight. How's the audio, everybody?
Yeah, I'm having body.
Does that sound okay? I'm just making sure everything's set up here.
I'm sure you are. That soundboard. I'm on a different headset because I'm having issues. So am I too loud? Be serious. Am I not loud enough?
That's perfect.
Am I echoing?
Thanks, Gallatin Ghost. He says done. He gave us a thumbs up. So we have lucky number 13 right now. Okay, so should we just jump right into it, or do you want to go over some other stuff before we go back to the clips?
Let's not dip our toe in it. Let's just jump right in.
Hey, all right.
We will talk about Clash of the Titans and World Series of Fenn after.
Yeah.
This.
Yes, I got told to got to lay off the soundboard. Although you never know, it might come up later. Okay, here we go. Let's go back to the clips. This is where we left off on the last show, and if you're new, if you're going, what are you talking about? So on the Cowlazars channel, there we put up a video that has all the Forrest Fenn clips all together in order, and that's what we're talking about right now. Yeah, deal with it. All right, here we go.
So the community is dubbed a lead searcher. Do you believe there's a lead searcher?
Define that term. What is a lead searcher?
The searcher closest to the treasure chest?
How in the world would you know that you were the closest? If you know that you're the closest, why don't you get the treasure chest and go home? As far as I'm concerned, there's no such thing as a lead searcher. I don't know where that phrase originated, but...
And so many are confident that they have it found or they're right there. Does that surprise you? And it's such an interesting phenomenon, I find.
That's who we are as a people. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of people They figured out exactly where the treasure is. They know it's there, but they go there and it isn't there. So one of two things have happened. Either somebody's already found it and they're mad, or the whole thing's a hoax. And they write me and tell me that they're mad at me or they're the person that found it. But the funny thing is they're all still out there looking. That may be a hoax, but if it's a hoax, why don't you quit looking for it?
What do you?
Okay, if it's a hoax, why don't you quit looking for
Yeah.
So, you know, what I think would have been interesting, we can't go back in time, but he said, basically when you said the person closest to the chest, Forrest said, well, how would they know? I wonder if you would have said the person that you know is closest to the chest, meaning the person that Forrest knows is closest to the chest. I wonder what he would have said. But we can't go back in time and do that.
No, we can. And then some other people have said, I define lead searcher wrong. It's the person that solved all 9 clues. And I didn't ask that question. I'm the most horrible interviewer.
Or even
I
the
did
most
ask
clues,
that question.
you know.
I did ask that question, and he did answer it on a different clip.
Oh, is that right? I don't even remember that.
Oh, I remember that.
Are we showing that tonight?
No.
Oh, okay.
God only knows what we're showing tonight. You might have included it. You might have included all of it. We might be here for 2 hours.
You never
God only
know.
knows.
You never know.
Okay, so this one, I think, one, just because everybody was talking about the lead searcher, that put that baby to bed, even though some people still think they're the lead searcher. But I do think it's interesting. That's who we are as a people. It needs to be kind of me. You know, they get a gratification out of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's really big on, I think he has said this before. I know he's, well, we'll see. We'll see if I say something groundbreaking. Like, if you're not into it, and this is just anywhere in life, you just leave the person alone. You don't go and pick. And that's the whole hoax thing. If you think it's a hoax, it's real simple. Like when you call into AGK, it's like, if you don't believe a treasure chest is out there, move along.
I understand, but I think there's people that think they're the crusader. They need to, it's their mission in life to let everybody know, not to waste your time or money because it's a hoax. You know what I mean? And it's like everybody has to, you're not going to convince anybody of that. Everybody's got to make their own decision on how much time and money they put into this thing and how many times they want to go look and all that. But him saying there is no lead searcher speaks volumes to the people who have said, I know exactly where it is and I'm going to get it. No, you don't. Forrest just said, how would you know if you've solved it or not? How would you know where it is without getting it? So there is no lead searcher in that way. There's nobody that says, I've solved it all. I know exactly where it is. You don't. The only way you know is if you go get it. And if you haven't gone and got it yet, you're not the lead searcher. You do not know that's where it is.
Technically, by definition, there is someone that has been closer than any other person out searching. That person might be in Texas, but they, you know, there is by definition, but again, since they can't define themselves, they only define themselves. The only person that knows is Forrest, and Forrest has not defined a lead searcher.
Right.
So there you have it. I think this baby is put to bed. I have $5. It says before tonight is over.
Sassafras says, how would Forrest know that you don't know? He can't really know that anymore. Yeah, I'm confused. Yeah, but I think what Forrest is saying is there's no, how can somebody be closest to the treasure chest when you haven't found the treasure chest? Therefore, you don't know you're the closest. You know what I mean?
Right.
Does that make sense?
Right. So that's where I don't have a problem saying there is a person that has been the closest, but there's no way they can define themselves that way. Because they say, I know because I have the perfect solve and I'm going out in 6 months or a year or 2 years or whatever. Yeah. But it's like giving yourself a title. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. We ready to move on?
Yes.
It was the wrong question to ask Forrest.
Getting mine.
All right. Hey, at least we were there. All right. Here we go. Moving on.
Believe will happen to the search when you pass away?
Well, it'll continue until somebody finds it. I mean, they're still looking for the lost Dutchman mine down out of Mesa, Arizona. I mean, that's been going on for 50 years or more. It'll continue until something ends it.
Well, and one thing you do on a pretty consistent basis is confirm whether the treasure is still out there. We won't have that confirmation, it seems.
There are some problems that come with this treasure hunt.
Okay.
No, that's not true. There's a way to know, but I'm not going to tell you what it is.
All right, let's pause it there and at least talk about that. I'm not sure how far it keeps going, but I may have added the super secret hint. You never know. But I know Toby's made his video where he said Forrest is totally contradicting what he said back in the Lorena Mills interview. So what about this crazy theory? Talk about rabbit holes. He consulted a lawyer before he hid the treasure chest. He consulted a lawyer after he hid the treasure chest, right?
Yeah.
What if the consultation with the lawyer after he hid the treasure chest was the thing that will let him know that it's been found? What if that's the reason he had consulted a lawyer after he hid it? Now, that would have to relate, I think, to the item that's in the chest. Because if the title or the item, if it's a legal document of some kind, refers to something lawyers have control of, couldn't he have changed it to be like, everybody will now know when it's found, whether I'm alive or not, because I've changed the mechanism that you find, that you activate, that you do something with. Is that a possibility?
That would explain, and we have a super chat that you're going to have to talk to in a second. That would explain why he said one thing before and he said one thing after, except for my counterpoint to that is he has a ton of contradictory statements.
Yeah.
This is not the only one. And at the beginning, he said, there's problems with this treasure hunt, like confirming, like there's not a way to know. And then he kind of catches himself. So there's something that may have evolved since 2011. Now we're in 2020. In the last 9 years, for him to say, "Oh, there's something now."
Right.
Like you're saying, why did he go to
Maybe something
Why did he go to a
changed.
lawyer after?
So
Why?
from that Lorena Mills interview till the next time he said, "There's a way I know," could have something have changed? That's all. That's the question. Is that reasonable to say it's a possibility or not?
Rather than saying there's deception, we could just say something has changed. Like the explanation about overlooking New Mexico. I think he clarified somewhere. I don't remember where. You guys have better memories than me, and you will call me out in chat. I know. But he said back in the day, everyone was talking about New Mexico. One searchers move up north, Cynthia, and then now he's saying he sees a lot more on the blogs and emails he gets about up north. So he was correct, or he was accurate at the time in 2014 when he said that, and then he's accurate about what he's saying now. He just didn't clarify at that level.
Right.
And since we have a recording and memory on every sneeze he's made for the last 10 years, we call him out on that.
So in your face, Toby. No, okay. So Vanishing Race, thank you for the super chat. And you guys know what happens. We have to play a random sound clip when we get a super chat.
Oh, the over-under. I changed my over-under, guys. I didn't know we have to do one at every super chat.
Well, I just thought of it. So, all right, here we go.
Don't be a player hater.
That's right. Don't be a player hater. You too can do a super chat if you so wish. Okay.
Oh, goodness gracious. Okay. Okay, so then I thought it was interesting that he talked about the Dutchman in Arizona. There's Arizona again, but we've already ruled that out through the later clips. But he says there's a way to know, but that's up to the finder. Yeah. But if it's up to the finder, how do we know as a community? That was the question. That's up to the finder.
Well, if the finder wants to say, "Hey, everybody, I found it, and here's how I solved the clues," and prove it, you prove it by showing what's the contents of the chest. That would be one way everybody knows, right? I mean, I don't think Forrest is.
Don't you think somebody's going to buy one of Chris Jones's chests and say the minute Forrest passes? Don't you think he's going to say? We're going to have so many people saying they found it.
I think people will try, but I think Chris made certain changes to where Chris would know by looking at a chest if it's one of his or not. So I think somebody may try some knucklehead may try and do that. But yeah.
Oh, and I did get I only got a couple of people that gave me this feedback, but they're like, "How could you have asked Forrest about something when he's dead?" Okay, so I'm going to give you an example of why that's silly, because I used to be silly too. Toby did a show, this was probably 3 or 4 years ago, and it was what would have happened if Forrest died the day after the book signing for TTOTC. And I wrote Forrest and said, "How can they talk about you? That's so insensitive about you dying." And he's like, "I am going to die one day." And I watched their show, and it seemed very plausible. They were being disrespectful. He's like, basically, lighten up, Christy. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm going to give you all Forrest advice. Lighten up. And like, it's okay that we talk about being a human being. You can age. You can, there's different parts of life. This is one of them.
So another super chat from Vanishing Race, and he says the finder won't be able to keep quiet. So thank you for the super chat.
Repeat the crap, it doesn't work.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's hopefully that's not the
number-
soundboard or the phone lines when we World Famous Gamer. You can call when we open the phone lines. You can call now and leave a voicemail if you wish.
Oh wait, you didn't ask the question that Vanishing asked before. What do you call the person who has been closest?
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that's
There
really
is
not
no
the
way of
lead
knowing
searcher.
that.
I think that's no. Forrest could know that because he says he scanned. Like Forrest said, I know somebody's solved the first 2 clues because of the email I got. You know what I mean?
Right.
So what we could have
Forrest can
asked,
call it-
Forrest can answer that. Nobody else can. Yeah, I can believe I've solved 6 clues, but I don't know that. I could be in the wrong state thinking I've done that. But Forrest could have answered that, and if we would have asked him that question, I don't think he would have answered. What do you think? If we would have said, Forrest, 10 years in, how many clues have been solved that you can verify you know of? What do you think his answer would have been?
Oh, I don't think you would answer.
Yeah, I don't think you would
Anything that was
answer
related
either.
to clues, he kind of dodged. We got some when we all like tag teamed him, etc. But for the most part, he was running that show, no question.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Moving on?
Yes.
Okay. You are, Mike. Yeah. Something. All right, here we go.
What is the one thing all searchers are missing? You said there's one thing.
I don't, it's important to the story, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. The person I'm saving that for the person that finds the treasure. But
Keep going.
it's significant, I think.
Okay, now that one's pretty huge. You ask, what's the one thing everybody's missing? And he says, I don't want to say, maybe we should replay it. He says, I don't want to say, but it's significant to the story.
It's important to the story.
Important
I'm
and
saving it for the
significant.
person who finds the treasure chest, but it is significant. Those are the 3
But I'm
statements
saving
he-
it for the person who finds the chest, right?
Saving it for the person who finds the chest, but it is significant.
So I wonder if that ties into his deep thinking treasure searcher could use logic to determine an important possibility related to the winning solve, I think is the proper quote. Yeah, I mean, what's the story? Is it the story of the place, the story of the location, the story of him hiding it? Like, what's he talking about?
I think this goes to, okay, so he talks about his dad, like not really being known. He died. That was it. I think this is the way that Forrest will put his life in fame, if you will, or his legacy, if you will. I think this is going to be that's what he's talking about. There's something to the story now. Now we know there's a story in that box. There's one unknown thing. I used to think, oh, it's the largest diamond or something. I don't anymore. It's something. And now Forrest has his autobiography in there. Could it be something, could he be DB Cooper? No, I don't think so. But could it be something like that? Some huge unsolved mystery that he knows. I don't think it's the value of the treasure chest that's the issue. I think
I wish we would have asked him if.
Stop doing that.
Well, now thinking about after, hindsight's 2020. Now, a couple months after the fact, I wish you would have said, or me, or Cynthia would have said, and is knowing that important thing, does knowing that important thing, that significance to the story, help you solve the clues? Or is it totally separate from solving the clues? It's just there in the chest when you find it. Wonder if he probably wouldn't have answered though.
What if he gives you Sitting Bull's peace pipe?
Well, that is a theory that's out there already.
Yeah.
So
I'm
I
trying to
don't think
remember,
that's true.
This is going to be a question for Cynthia. Everything's tagged in his den, and I don't know if you noticed in the den and the vault, everything was tagged with little buttons, little
Yeah. They're
girls'
little
buttons, and it
stickers.
had their kids or grandkids' name. I don't remember if Sitting Bull's peace pipe had a tag. I don't think it did.
Right. Give me 1 second.
Hello, Bertha. Welcome.
Okay, sorry.
What if he owned the property it's on and he's going to donate it to the park or something? Yeah, it could be. It could be. But
So
still,
you didn't see the item that had the tag that said for the finder? You didn't see that in his den? I'm just kidding.
Oh, well, when
Everybody.
I did that in his lab, I saw that in his lab.
I wish you weren't a liar.
Okay.
Okay.
All
We're
right.
only
Sorry,
18
everybody.
minutes in, and we're already at number 5, guys. That was number 5.
One for every 5 minutes is not unacceptable, is it?
No, but I
Is
did an
acceptable.
over-under bet earlier.
Oh,
and
I didn't
I'm
know
like,
that. Oh,
I'm
okay.
going to lose dramatically. I'm going to lose.
All right, here we go. We'll keep going. Yeah,
Okay.
significant to the story. I think that's interesting. I don't think he's ever said that before, has he?
No, I don't think it's
Could-
important and significant.
But he's saving
And
it for the
saving it
finder.
for the person. for
Maybe
the
that's
finder.
the thing where Douglas Preston says, I heard him say something I've never heard him say before. I don't know. I think we need Doug on the show. Reach out to him. All right, here we go.
Oh, I have. Yeah. Starting location is important, you have said. Where do we start this poem? Is it in your driveway?
You start the chase by getting in your car and going to the first clue. That's what starts it. If you don't know where warm waters halt, you don't know anything.
Okay. If you don't know where warm waters halt, you don't know anything. Now, that's something he has never misstated. He's always said, if you stay home and play canasta, go back to the poem. What's the first clue in the poem? Begin it where warm waters halt. If we just can't figure that one down, nail that one down, it just doesn't matter. The rest of it is just, a nice vacation, right?
Right, but this is where no matter how many, I try not to tell anybody that they're wrong. But this is when people say I'm a 9 sentences, 9 clues guy. How is that possible when he has said WWWH is the first clue so many times? I don't understand. I don't want to say you're 100% wrong.
It can't be 9 sentences, 9 clues. I mean, to me, that means it means it can't be 9 sentences, 9 clues. There could be hints in stanza 1 that help.
Yes.
But not.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about about the people that say, no, the first clue is out of the 9, the first clue is in the first stanza. It's like, no, he's told us. WWWH is okay, so there's 2 things I want to talk about here. He says you get in your car and you drive to the first clue. Why do you drive to the first clue? Because he has also said in the People magazine when he was talking about the searcher staffs, if anybody thinks I walked down a canyon and walked back up 2 different times at 80 years old, they're mistaken. I did not walk down a canyon. So if you're taking it the canyon down, why do you have to go to clue 1? Why aren't you going directly to the treasure chest?
Well, do you have to go to verify the waters are warm to try and verify you have the correct where warm waters halt? Is that why you have to drive there to know? I'm thinking out loud. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a there.
Well, or do you have to go in order to know which way canyon down is? Another way, which way the water flows. Here's where warm waters halt. As me and you have talked about this, we think the clues touch each other, right? Contiguous.
They have to.
So
yes.
Where warm waters halt is where the canyon is, but which way is down? Is there only one way? Is there 2 possibilities? Is it north, south? Is it, maybe you have to go to figure out logistics of which way do I go now? Because he said the 9 clues will lead you right there. Well, if the 9 clues lead you there, I want to go to clue 1 so I know which way to go for clue 2, to clue 3, to clue 4, all the way to 9. Maybe that's why you've got to be there, to know where to go. Maybe there's multiple canyons. Maybe there's a hint in stanza 1 that tells you which canyon to go down. You know what I mean? There could be other things.
Doesn't make sense.
Well,
it does not make sense.
Maybe not. I know.
Okay, let's say, for example, our WWWH is Old Faithful. And then you take a canyon for however long, and then you end up at Ojo Caliente. Why? And that's where the treasure chest is. You've been to Ojo Caliente. You know how far Old Faithful is. Why do we need to go to Old Faithful? Are we checking something? Do we need something? Why do we have? He's basically said by that, you're going to need to check something at WWWH. That's what I'm hearing.
And then the other thing that just occurred to me about the story, the significant story, is in the poem. He says, "Why is it that I must go and leave my trove for all to seek?" The answers I already know. Maybe that's the story. Maybe he's saying, "I know the answers. Whoever finds the chest, now they're going to know the answer." It's part of this story.
Along the way,
in the chest.
He said, "Don't go down a canyon." Like, that's what he said in the 2017 People magazine. He said, "Don't. Like, an 80-year-old man didn't do it. You're going to be in danger if you do it. Don't do that." Okay, so there's a couple.
Well, that's where the drive comes in, because it's too far to walk. So you're not walking, you're driving. He drove down the canyon,
why
right?
even go there? Why not drive directly?
Because maybe you have to go there to find Homer Brown. In other words, you've got to start here, drive down the canyon. Now, where's Homer Brown? We don't know how far it is. In other words, you're saying you go right to clue Homer Brown, which is clue 3,
so
maybe?
Does that mean that we are I actually think you just stumbled onto something. Does that mean we're driving the canyon?
Yes, we're driving the canyon. Yeah.
That's new information.
Well, too far to walk. What are we doing? If it's too far to walk, why are we not
You're
walking?
driving down the canyon. I didn't think driving down. I thought
Oh,
we
I
could
see
drive to
what
where
you're
it
saying.
is. Like it might be too far to walk either way. Okay, let me go back to Gregory.
Justin Barwick with the super chat. Thank you.
Well, I have a microphone and you don't.
So you will listen to every damn word I have to say.
Yeah, it's kind of how the show works, but okay. Yeah.
Okay, wait, I want to go back to Gregory first. We'll keep going. The point of viewing all 9 sentences as the 9 clues stresses the importance of the whole poem, just as Forrest said. Every word is practically important. You need to understand it all. I agree that you need all of it, but not for the 9 clues. He has said WWWH is the first one, and he said by Terry Scant, you have the treasure chest, you're getting the hell out
I
of
see
there.
what you're
so that
saying.
means
Yeah.
the 9th is, I do believe every single word is important. Stanza 1, 5, and 6.
The other thing that's interesting is the nouns. We played, and I don't think we've played it yet, but he talks about the nouns in the poem being important or whatever, and that we played it in this clip. We just haven't shown it yet. We played it.
Okay.
Yeah. See how she, anyway. What I was trying to say is if he says the nouns are important and he says I looked up every noun in the poem, is it only the nouns between stanza 2, 3, and 4 that we're supposed to focus on? Remember, there's a word that's key we're supposed to focus on. So is it a noun that's in between stanza 2, 3, and 4? What?
I thought Michael was this nice, serious guy. Did you see what he says? He said, you really want to have fun with the soundboard, load some of my actual voice, repurpose them creatively.
Who said that? Michael?
Michael Hall.
Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, I got you. Oh, hey, if you guys give me permission, I'll take sound clips from your videos and start playing those. All right.
Goodness. Oh, goodness.
Okay, anything else? But yeah, I think it makes sense to answer your question now that I think about it a little bit more fully. Begin at Warm Waters Halt. Take it in the canyon down. Not far, but too far to walk. You've got to go there to drive to find out where the home of Brown is. In other words, that maybe that also means, because a little girl from India can solve them on a map, where Warm Waters Halt, named location. The canyon is named on a map. Home of Brown is not named on a map. I'm just saying maybe. You have to drive to find it because you're not going to find it on a map. You've got to drive it.
Okay, so Cynthia has asked me if we can do a joint show because that exact question was discussed and enough people know about it that it's kind of like dipping your toe. You can take it or leave it.
What was or you want to wait for the show? Because I'm not sure what
We're
you're
going to need to
referring
wait for the show because quite honestly, I don't take detailed notes and I don't record.
Yeah.
So I kind of remember a couple pieces of it. She has detailed notes. She wants to put it out.
Okay.
She wants even playing field for everybody, this was a year and a half ago. It was that WWWH is like right at the canyon, but I asked specifically, is the canyon named on a map? And she will have the exact quote that was given.
Something that Forrest said to her. Is that what we're getting at?
Forrest said to me.
Now I remember the whole canyon argument. It was not during the marathon, before the marathon. Cynthia was like, "What about the canyon?" Yeah, I remember now. Oh, good. So we're gonna have a show, everybody, to go over that. So that's good.
Yeah,
okay.
She wants to and I've gotten 20 emails about it. I'm
Now
not gonna email each person and all that. So anyway, we'll.
Corey Jacobs says, I firmly believe the 9 clues are the map, and before and after them are what helps confirm your area in the form of hints. That very well could be. That very well could be.
Okay,
right.
so where are we at? We're at our next clue.
Let's go.
Let's keep
our
next
trucking
clue.
along.
Trucking along. How do you expect the chase to evolve in the next couple of years?
But nobody finds it, it's going to evolve and gravitate the way it has in the last couple. I don't see anything changing.
Looking back, would you have done anything different in this chase now going into year 10?
No. Been so lucky. There are 6 or 8 major events that had to work for me. This thing to come out like it has. First of all, the poem had to be the way it is. For that thing to come together like it did, with the amount of mystery that's in it, is unlikely. I think spent a lot of time thinking about it. I think I was lucky too. But then when I went to hide the treasure, I was lucky that nobody was around there. Nobody anyplace. And there are several other things that make me think I had some help when I put this whole thing together. It started with Ralph Lauren. I give him. Yeah.
6 or 8 major events. And when he went to hide the treasure, nobody was around, nobody any place. Now, does he mean from his car where he parked, or does he just mean the actual hiding of the treasure chest?
Yeah, so shout out to Troy Barlow, YMSGO. He put this up on one of the Facebooks and asked that, like, people were like, and I think Alan Kay was in the discussion, a few of us, and it seems contradictory. If it's in an isolated place, then why is it a surprise? So my theory, and this is just my opinion, is I think the parking lot is somewhere that has a lot of people. But you go to somewhere between 200 and 500 feet, and you're in a very isolated area that most people would not go.
And furthermore, in my opinion, he parked below the home of Brown, just like we're supposed to park below the home of Brown. And then he walked to the remaining 5 clues, and he got lucky, he's saying, that nobody was there to see him. Just think about it. In the back of his mind, maybe he knew this thing was going to go big if it wasn't found in the first year. And maybe it would have been like, hey, I remember seeing a guy with a backpack walk, But he's like, nobody was there. I didn't have to worry about that. I didn't have to sit in my car and wait for a family to leave or something. Nobody was there. Because he said the place where the treasure is isolated. Remember the Australian interview that Cynthia did? He said that's isolated. So I don't think
nobody would go there normally.
Right.
So we're definitely not talking about the treasure chest.
Exactly. See how we put the logic together to do that for all you people?
You see this? It's
So
all happening here.
I agree. I think when he parked below the home of Brown, just my opinion, nobody was there. And he got lucky that nobody was there.
Wherever he parked, that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, wherever he parked.
It's not the isolated area where the treasure chest was. It was the area when he was like taking all the goodies. And has he ever said how he carried it? Like if he had a backpack
I don't think
or
he
not?
said how.
I don't think so.
And furthermore, that would mean that when he made his 2 trips, when he went back to his car, nobody was around either, right? That's what he said. Correct. Nobody was around.
In my opinion,
In our opinion, right. He went, hid the, I can't remember which is first, the chest or the gold. Did he hide first? The chest. Then he came back, got the gold, brought it. Yeah.
I think so.
So that means he left all that gold in his car when he went to hide the chest.
I know.
But anyway.
And all that stuff.
Yeah. So that's cool. He says, hey, nobody was there. Nobody was around.
Wouldn't it have been crazy if he came back to his car and his car was gone and all the like his entire car was gone?
Oh, don't say that.
Okay.
Couldn't have been gone. It was in the Denver Parking Museum. Oh.
He said he carried the chest in his hands and the goodies in a backpack. Okay.
Yeah, but he but he did make 2 trips. So you're saying when he went the first time, he just had the chest under his arm and he was walking out there. That's kind of crazy. Yeah.
Looking Glass, serious question. Did he ever say what month he hit it? No, he did not.
He doesn't.
And there was a reason for that. He didn't want people looking up rental car this.
He won't say what year he hit it either, although he said 79 or 80. Some people believe that, some people don't. A lot of people, through different things, have narrowed it down to August, September. Okay, we can't say for 100% certainty that's correct, but different people have said that. What? That wasn't you, was it?
No, I just think it has been confirmed that he was up in the Yellowstone area in the months that you said.
Parade Rest Ranch? Is that what it was?
I didn't say that. I just said in general, I think some people have confirmed that. And so anyway.
But then some people overlook New Mexico, so it's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, so he has said, but he also said, let's talk about this. He said that the poem to come together with that much mystery. It seems so straightforward. There's obviously a mystery in there, right?
There's something going on to the story. He's telling a story maybe through the poem. And maybe the person who finds the treasure chest it'll make all sense. Maybe the poem, maybe the treasure chest explains what the it is in the poem. Begin it. Mm-hmm. You can put the clues together to find the chest, but when you find the chest, there's something in there that explains what that whole poem's about. Maybe.
Yeah, because the it doesn't make sense. It can't be just begin it, the journey, because then the it is something. Journey doesn't fit. Yeah. Like if you use one word for it, it doesn't make sense.
So world famous. Go ahead.
Somebody asked, did Forrest have a pilot's license at the time? No, he did not. I don't remember what year that was, but no, he did not.
World famous gamer has asked a couple times. Oh, I just lost it. Oh, there it is. If the 500-foot searcher wasn't looking for the treasure chest, actually it's a 200-foot searcher. But anyway, if the 500-foot searcher wasn't looking for the treasure, then they wouldn't have told Forrest Fenn where they were. So how then would Forrest Fenn know they were within 500 feet unless the treasure chest is near a live camera? So if you do, in fact, mean the 500-foot searcher, he said people have been within 500 feet, but they didn't know where they were, right? That type thing?
Yes, and he said the way he knows it is they have emailed him. Was it the Blaze? They had emailed him pictures.
No, not the Blaze. Don't go there. He never said the Blaze, anything about a Blaze.
I think he said it.
No, he didn't.
on,
That was a
like to start
200-foot
rumors.
searcher. That's why I'm not sure if World Famous Gamer meant the 200-footer. The 200-foot searcher, Forrest said, somebody has been within 200 feet. And when people asked him, well, how do you know that? He said, because actually he says, I got a picture. In an email, I got a picture.
Yes.
Right.
Of the Blaze.
Yeah, no, that's a lot closer than 200 feet if it was the Blaze.
You were saying home of Brown is where you park. I can make
So,
stuff up too.
so World Famous Gamer, the 200-footer sent Forrest an email. And you're like, well, if he knew Forrest so much, why would he tell him where he was? Probably because he's his friend and said, hey, I went looking for your treasure chest. This is where I was. And then Forrest is like, oh, wow. Forrest said, I didn't know he knew me so well because he was in the area. He was within 200 feet. We have 2 super chats from Justin Barwick.
Ooh.
Oh, another one. We got 2. All right, here we go.
Whatever you do is going on Facebook.
That's really true. Whatever you do is going on Facebook. Oh, here's another one.
And whatever you don't do,
Because there was 2 super chats, so here's a good one.
I gotta tell you, when I saw my first gray bush hair, I said bye.
I don't know what that's all about. All right, there we go. Thank you for the super chats. What?
Do you remember we talked about less is more when it comes to the soundboards?
I'm playing them randomly, so I don't know what.
There's nothing with innuendos of that nature that we're going to be playing tonight.
I don't know what I'm selecting because I have to go through and delete some of these apparently. So okay, thanks for the super chats.
Wow, you are just lying. Oh my goodness
random.
gracious. Okay. Okay, so wait, I still have more on this one.
Okay.
I have not looked into Ralph Lauren and any ties like I have Eric Sloan, all the others.
All right, hang on. Covert One has got a sticking point. He said he didn't say picture. He said photograph. Well, what's the difference?
What is the difference?
Yeah, I didn't know what the difference would be. Okay, I'll give that to you. He said photograph. But what would the difference be? Oh, so not a hand-drawn picture. Okay. Is that what you mean, maybe? But okay.
Oh, I took it.
A photograph.
Yeah, I took it that it was a photograph of the area.
Right, me too. So there has to be an identifying landmark in that photograph. So Forrest would be like, oh, he's in the right area. Yeah, we agree with that. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Or it could have been like he looks for keywords. Hey, I'm at Ojo Caliente, and here's an attached picture.
Vanishing Race says, wouldn't it be crazy if the 200-foot searcher shared that picture with the community, but no one knows it? Or does someone besides Forrest? And then we got another super chat from Ethan Wallace. He says, play the most annoying button you have, please. I told you guys it's random. So here we go.
Never heard of him. Next.
It's random. I don't know what's coming up. Okay. Go ahead, honey.
Hey, oh yeah, honey. What did someone... Okay, I'm all off tonight now. I'm trying to run a content-driven channel, and you've gone off the deep end. You're off the turnip truck.
What?
Okay, so, yeah, that is, once he told the story that the idea came to him at 2 a.m. one night, no Ralph Lauren. Yeah, so what is the Ralph Lauren? Like, what is the tie of, that's what I was going to say. Sassy tells a great story. She was up and she actually put up on the forums on the David Blaine hunt and was like, here it is. And people made fun of her. They're like, that's not it. I think Forrest could actually put, whether his name is Forrest or not, he could put in the chat right here. And I guarantee half of you would say, no, I'm the lead searcher. That's not right, Forrest.
Right.
And you would tell him his WWH is wrong and all that. So anyway. Forrest could have seen a picture on GE that someone uploaded, just like check out this great view and a picture or a selfie. Yeah.
Could be, because I still think it's a landmark. He saw a landmark of some kind. Maybe it was as obvious as a sign. You're in the such and such, overlook or whatever. A sign of where somebody was. But we don't know. We could guess all day, but we don't know.
Here's the other one I want to talk about is 6 or 8 major events. And Candy put this up on Facebook, so I think it's okay to say. He told her, this was last February, that it was 11. There was 11 things that needed to come together. So I don't think the number is 11. As important, but You know how he said in this clip, there's 6 or 8 things
Oh,
that
yeah.
had to come together? He told her the exact same quote,
Oh, but
he
11?
used the word 11.
Oh, interesting.
So let's just say if we have 6, 8, or 11, but we have 6. So the poem coming together, that there was no one around, that Ralph Lauren piece.
He said, I
what
blame
were the others.
He said, I blame Ralph Lauren. House Husband Diaries is in the chat and said, why are we talking about Ralph Lauren? I came in late. Well, 1, don't come in late. 2, because he says he blames Ralph Lauren because Ralph Lauren gave him the idea of the whole treasure hunt by saying, you can't take it with you. And, of course, Forrest, being the Maverick, said, well, why can't I? Then he came up with the treasure chest, I guess.
Yeah, but, okay, let's focus on my question, which is, what are the 6 to 8 things? Oh, just name 6 things. What 6 things
couldn't one of the things be that he found the bronze treasure chest? Remember, he says, I found the perfect treasure chest, the bronze, 25 grand. That could have been one of the things that came together because he didn't know what he was going to hide the things in.
And then
but for the rest, I mean, what?
That he won the bracelet.
Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, I just don't know. Yes.
That he didn't lose it in the raid.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
Zing. Hi, Forrest.
House Husband Diaries. I'm still in Costa Rica. I thought I was doing well by joining. Yes, you are. Thank you for joining us. Way down in Costa Rica.
Mike is ornery tonight. Sorry,
have a cerveza for me.
Okay, so that's all I had on that clip. Does anybody have anything else before we move on?
Vanishing Race says that dude didn't have the clues solved. Wait a minute. What's he say? Vanishing Race says that dude didn't have the clues in the poem solved, only the first few, and then he stumbled upon a spot a couple 100 feet from the treasure. I don't think that dude had any clues solved. That was the point. Forrest said, I didn't know he knew me so well because he picked the area just by knowing Forrest. That's the way I've always understood the story.
That's not how I understood it.
Really? See?
Yeah, and I've had
Isn't
lots
that
of
interesting how we hear the same thing and we take it different ways? So you may be right, Vanishing Race. I don't know.
I think WWWH is a very important piece, and it ties some way to Forrest or the final location. And if you know Forrest really well, you could have figured that out. Like my question.
Could be.
If no matter when he had this special spot, it was definitely before he thought about this treasure chest. If that's the case, why isn't he bragging about it to everybody? Especially if it was his favorite spot since he was 13. And he never the love of his life there, Peggy.
Right.
Come on. They've been married like 600 years.
Right. Or his father when he was alive, yeah.
Exactly.
But the interesting part, you know how Forrest's kind of tricky in what he says, right? So he says, I know somebody's been within 200 feet of the treasure. What if that person was also, what if Warm Waters Halt is within 200 feet of the treasure? In other words, he didn't speak to the rest of the clues. He just said 200 feet from the treasure chest. But what if where Warm Waters Halt is within 200 feet of the treasure chest? I mean, it's just an idea, but I think that doesn't go against what Forrest said. Another super chat from Justin Barwick. Contact me, Mike. We have spoke maps. All right, well, send me an email. Oh, and then it was deleted by Copper Dan. I don't know why you deleted it, Dan. But here we go.
Hey, that's a good one. No, wait, I'm not finished holding my sides.
Okay, all right. Thanks for that super chat. I don't know why you deleted that, Dan. But anyway, not Forrest's favorite spot ever, just the most tricky place ever to find his body or the chest. Well, yeah, you know, I still think it's interesting that in the Australian interview, said he was asked, did you always know the spot? And he says, well, always is a very long time. Let's just say I knew where I wanted to hide it.
Well, okay, Czar says Peggy has been there. She just doesn't know that spot. Quote, Peggy will be there waiting for me. I think.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, somebody's been there but doesn't know it. Yeah.
No, but I don't interpret that quote, and I don't remember that quote exactly, but I would remember that like, I'm joining her in heaven. That was where I was going to die.
Or does it mean something else? Yeah, right.
Or, something completely different.
All right, let's keep going. We still got 5 or 6 minutes to go.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to make it through.
4 minutes. Somebody released way too much. I don't know.
Jeez,
what one thing would you like to say to searchers that you have not said? That's the last question.
The most important thing is safety. Protect yourself, protect your family. Finding the treasure is not nearly as important as keeping yourself well. And there's a gal up in searching around Hepburn Lake right now. There's a terrible cold. She's been in the hospital in Idaho Falls. She's out there. I mean, Last week was 1 degree. He's out there, and I commented on Dow's blog, you know, let's shut down Montana, Wyoming, northern Colorado, but they don't care.
Anything?
So that was just a basic, you know, safety first. Don't go search in the wintertime, right?
I think he wanted to scold Diggin' Gypsy because she's
Right.
an awesome searcher, and I think she did go out later than he said. He's told me before, don't go out alone, and I've gone out alone, and he gets a little grumpy. I think he had an avenue because that I knew that Diggins was out there that week or that
Right.
day, and so Cynthia and I were talking about it later. I'm like, is she okay? I didn't know she went to the hospital, so I think that was him saying.
Well, also, if you listen close, he just said again the treasure chest is in New Mexico. He said shut down Montana, Wyoming, Colorado. Why would you shut it down?
No,
Because it's
he
in New
said,
Mexico.
Due to the weather and safety issues, shut down the locations that would be dangerous to go
Yeah,
to.
that's not what I heard.
Yeah, okay, confirmation bias. All right.
I wish you weren't a liar.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah?
Probably, but I can't think of them.
You have been very generous, both of you, with your time.
Can I ask one question, Forrest? Just one? Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
The best question.
Do you still believe there's a word that is key that searchers should focus on?
Yes.
And is that word in the
Well,
poem?
you said one question.
Then you ask it, Christy. Is that word in the poem?
May I ask a
I'm so
question?
far ahead of these guys.
Yes. Cynthia wanted to ask something. May I ask a question? Is that word in the poem?
That was 2 questions. You asked if you could ask a question, was the question.
And you thought I was bad.
I take you literally. What's your question?
Is the key word in the poem?
Well, that's what he asked me.
No, he asked you if there is one, and you said yes. My question is it in the poem?
There's one word that will help you more than some of the others.
In the poem.
One.
All right. Thank you, Forrest. That's pretty big for searchers.
But you got to have all of them. One is not going to take you there.
Okay, you got to have all of them. One is not going to take you there. What does that mean to you, Chris?
It means that anagrams don't matter because why do we need to
What?
try we don't need all, no. It means to me that, so there was a lot of speculation. He has said contentment. He has said other things in the past. This means to me that he is saying that there's one word that is key. He is focused on nouns. So I think it's a noun. And I personally believe it's in the first stanza. Because I believe it's a pointer to WWWH, because that's the one thing that a lot of people are struggling to figure out. And it's what's most important. It's what's key. You have to have WWH or you have nothing. So I think it's something related to the WWWH line, but I actually think it's in stanza 1. That is my opinion, my guess.
Well, from the beginning, when we realized we're actually going to go out there and do this, which I was surprised it came together sometimes, you know, we talk about a lot of stuff, but we actually made this one happen. So I knew I wanted to ask that question, and I had to wait. I'm sitting there biting my tongue going, when should I interject this in there? But I waited to the very end when you said this is the last question, so I thought, okay.
That wasn't the end, though.
No, I know, but you said this is it. This is the last one. You just said it in the clip.
Right, but that was the last one of Forrest. And then what did we do afterwards?
Yeah, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when I wanted to ask Forrest a question, I waited till you were done asking him your questions. So luckily,
See, you're the maverick. You're the one that
luckily
you guys
he
aren't
answered
supposed
it.
to ask any questions, and you and Cynthia both.
Well, that's what I wanted answered from this whole thing. I was like, I just want him to say the word is in the poem. That's all. I've always thought it was in the poem, but he's never actually come out and said it before. So he finally admitted there's a word that will help you more than others. In the poem, yes, in the poem. But you need all of them. One won't take you there. And to me, that means you're not going to find the treasure chest with just one word. You got to find all the. So that means to me that the word that's key is one of the 9 clues. It's in stanza 2, 3, or 4. It's one of the 9 clues. He's saying, yes, that word will help you more than the others, but you need all of them. You need all 9 clues to take you there.
WWWH to Blaze, what word have we not focused on? God, every single word. Brown. How many people have talked about brown 27 different ways? Warm, waters, hauled, etc. What have we not focused on? I don't think we focused enough on the first.
And that could be, yeah, that could be. So, hey, I just want to say thank you to Copper Dan, Sassy, and Hooli for being our moderators. Me and K-Pro are not watching the chat because we're busy doing this other stuff. So thank you guys for being moderators. And they just explained why they did the timeout on the one. So that's fine. You guys handle the room. We appreciate you doing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I will say, you were like, this is the one I wanted answered. We went in, we had a pre-strategy. Remember? It was all about the documentary.
Right.
When you and Cynthia went rogue together, you guys like took off the documentary.
Yeah, well, this was just for the community. I wanted him to say, is the word in the poem or not? Because what have we always heard? Contentment is the word that's key. Imagination is key. He has said those things. But when it comes to the poem and finding the treasure chest, there's a word that will help you more than the others in the poem.
And I'm saying, if that would have cut off the rest of the interview, you would have been in the doghouse.
But why would it cut off the rest?
Because how many times, remember when we talked with Alan about if you push too hard, and he was doing I don't want to answer
me and
that.
Forrest are okay. We go way back. I knew he would have. He may have said, I'm not going to go there. He may have simply said, I'm not going to go there, and then, okay, well, then don't go there. But he actually.
You're in trouble again. You're just always in trouble.
Not
you're
in trouble. All right, but we're not done, everybody. Let's keep going.
I've been asked 100 times, which is the most important clue in the poem? It's so obvious to me the most important clue is the last one because you're holding the trick. How could you say any of the other clues are more important than that one?
That's true. Huh?
I'm a maverick, aren't I?
You're a rascal. That's what I call you.
A what?
A rascal. Like, I know you're trying to say something. I'm just not smart enough to know.
I feel like that's a compliment.
Always, always.
At OfferPad, our mission is to provide the best way to buy and sell a home. Just go to OfferPad.com. Tell us about.
Oh, but
There we go.
the question
Now we have the rest.
I'll give it to you, so I will ask you together. Once Upon a While references a parking lot, but there has been 2 references to Northern Arizona University and then the Denver Museum. What is similar about those 2 museums that we should be focusing
I heard
on?
what Doug said a while ago, and I remember at the very beginning I made a comment about parking lot, I think at the Museum of Northern Arizona in Flagstaff. I don't remember in what context. Looking back on it now, it certainly isn't relevant.
So is it the 10th clue?
Is it what?
It has been heard to be said it is the 10th clue.
I'm not going to talk about clues, but I'll say that the parking lot in Arizona is not relevant to the case.
So I think that was also pretty awesome that we were able to get that as well, just so people can put it to bed. Doug either misheard or whatever the context was of an Arizona parking lot does not matter to finding the treasure chest. Now, the Denver might, but we don't know that one yet. But the Arizona does not, right?
Right. Okay. I agree.
And Randy Pistol's in the chat. How you doing, Randy? I just ordered 2 more copies of your book because I'm going to tear one up. People have said that about my book, but all the clues are still there. Said what? I'm not sure what you're referencing, Randy. Put it in the chat if you can. People have said that about my book, but all the clues are still there. Yeah, I mean, he's probably talking about something we were talking about earlier. So, The Beacon Star on Amazon. Yeah, do you want to play the rest, or did you want to have a comment about the Arizona?
No, I agree with you. I think for me now, I know that Toby said something yesterday, and you know, you don't always agree with your dad. So I'm going to just say, Toby, you're wrong. He says you have to take this all with a grain of salt, and he might be deceitful in, I don't know what the word he used, but basically we can only really take the interviews from 2011, 12, because that's when I do agree with that piece, but I do think when he says something now, I think he's more careful than ever. So when he does make factual statements like, it is not pertinent to Arizona, and he wouldn't say that about Denver, but he would say it about Arizona, I'm going to take him. I believe he's being factual and saying, rule it out, stop. Like, don't even focus on there. Because I did a lot of comparisons between the 2 museums.
And Randy clarified. He's saying somebody in chat said a clue is missing. And Randy's saying, they say that about my book too, but all the clues are there. Although possibly misspelled, huh, Randy? But I won't go into that. So, yeah, that's interesting. Forrest thought of everything. Does that mean, could there be something missing in the poem? Or will all 9 clues lead you directly there, like he says? We'll see.
Marty says, yeah, the Northern Arizona University parking lot doesn't matter. File that under things that would have been nice to know 10 years ago.
Right. But,
and that's, yeah.
but would you rather have the interview now, 10 years later, or not, and we all still think, the wrong things possible?
But it is something like, I am appreciative to
Thanks,
have it,
Brian.
but I can tell you, I did so many comparisons between the buildings, the building sizes, the zip codes, the telephone numbers, the curators' names.
But
how long they've
again,
been there.
what does that go back to? What should we be focusing on?
The poem.
The poem. That's right. That's what we need to do. We need to get back to the poem. The next show or next Thursday show. Let's go back to the poem.
Hey, that's your show.
I know. That's what we're going to do. Next Thursday, everybody. We're going to go back to the poem. And now that we've known all these things so many years later, let's go back to the poem, looking at it with the new knowledge that we have from this interview and from the other things he said. Another super chat. Oh, Justin says, sorry, Copper Dan, you're awesome. Thank you, Justin Barwick. Copper Dan is awesome.
He is awesome.
That was just for you, baby.
Hey, I don't know where that came from. Okay. All right, let's finish it. We only have a couple. Keep going. Keep going.
Oh, that's okay.
What were you going to say?
I don't remember.
Oh, all right. Well, yeah, let's finish it because we're almost done with the clips finally.
Oh, are we? Are there?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
To answer your question.
Okay. Is the one in Denver?
That's Doug. He's the one that said it.
I'm going to say this, that in what Forrest just said now, sitting in that chair, I believe a very significant clue was said. But I'm not going to say what it is.
Thank you.
Okay.
Let's add a little mystery to this.
Something new that no one has gotten before.
Okay.
A shadow ain't cast by a fool.
All right. I added that there just because that's one of my favorite sayings. Two favorite sayings from Forrest. My shadow isn't cast by a fool, number one. And from the thrill of the chase, my elbow needed some room. Uh-oh. Oh, I know what that is. Hang on. We're going into Michael Hull's video. Hey, don't sue us, Michael Hull. Hey, he just said we should play some of his videos. So there you go. It's on my auto. What do you call it? Auto list. Yeah. Sorry about that, Michael. So yeah, and my elbow needed some room when he was going to go on the Lewis and Clark trail. So I thought I'd add that on the end. But I think there's several things in our interview that you could say is brand new, never heard before. So I don't think Douglas was just making that up.
Significant or not, I believe there's something significant. He could say some of them aren't as significant. And if we do believe him, this was just his opinion. And if we do believe him on that, I do think, well, he said during the interview, he keeps up to date with the blogs. He keeps up to date with the hunt. So I think he would be Douglas.
Oh, he did say that. Okay. Now who's giving away clips? Not me. Yeah, he did say that. He keeps up with the stuff.
Why don't you wait until I go to bed tonight? Why don't you clip that up and put it up on Facebook by the morning, my friend?
All right, we're right at the hour mark, so we got about another 10 minutes, guys. We're not going long tonight. We're going to go maybe another 10 minutes.
I've got to work really early in the morning.
So there's the clips. We hope you enjoyed them. Those are all the clips in order. I even did it where Douglas was in the beginning, then Forrest part, then the Douglas and Forrest part at the end, because that's kind of how it happened. And like we said, we're going to be focusing on the World Series of Fenn, which is our poker tournament, our annual poker tournament here in Vegas on February 15th. So we won't release any new clips until after that, and then after that we'll have to decide. It's up to K-Pro, so you guys should email her.
Dear Lord, I have nothing to say. Hit the little button that says you're a liar.
Yeah, right. Oh no, I don't want to mess up with your over/under or whatever that's all about.
Oh, we're already. Mine was 9. You've already put 14 of them out there.
9 for 9 clues. Is that what it was? That's because of super chats. That's not my fault.
Okay, so Maverick Finder has said something that I think is important for us to hear and briefly discuss for 1 minute.
Okay.
If I can't retrieve the treasure in the next couple days, I will disclose the location the woman saw. No, it is not safe to go out right now in any of the locations. Yeah. Please don't go out. There is new press out about the gentleman that did have the issues and was detained, and now he has charges.
Did you see the the article that I just posted today that referenced you? Did you read it before?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's wrong.
And there's some inaccuracies in there, big time.
I had not seen it before. I just came across it today. Talked about Toby and you, right? And, of course, the guy, So,
yeah.
Well, if anybody wants to read...
I told him some things. I put it up on Thor.
Wait, you talked to that guy? You talked to who? Yeah, I'm lost.
At
Everybody.
this point, I'm not going to comment anymore. There's pending charges, so I don't want to.
No. I'm not talking about Dave. I'm talking about the guy that wrote that article. I thought you were saying you talked to him.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's just an article. Some reporter. You know, reporters get it wrong every time they do an article.
Right, but when you're talking about people that, yeah. Okay.
So if anybody wants to read that article on Facebook, the group is called Forrest Fenn's Grand Adventure. It's just one of the many Facebook groups, Forrest Fenn Facebook groups, but me and K-Pro run it. And we do other treasure hunts as well. So go ahead and join Forrest Fenn's Grand Adventure. Go ahead.
So let's talk briefly about, so that's going to be all for the clips right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to have 1.5 weeks until, gosh, is it that soon that I'm going to see you?
World Series of Fens in 3 weeks, everybody. Going to be a heck of a time. I hope, you know what, maybe we're talking about Clash of the Titans, which you're going to talk about here in a minute. What if we did that live from a hotel room? Two people. All of us. You guys really need to tune into the channel, Cowlazars or Hint of Riches during the World Series of Fen, because you never know when we might go live and show somebody in a compromising situation. Well, you know what I mean, having fun and drunk. So make sure you subscribe to Cowlazars and also subscribe to Hint of Riches, because those are our two channels. Tell them about the Clash of Titans and what the idea is, Kate.
Okay, so the idea, this was actually going to be for the marathon, but we want to pre-test it. So are there two searchers that we kind of know that would have differing opinions either on locations or whatever it is, that we call it Clash of the Titans. It would be a very regimented, it would almost be like the presidential debates. They would get some time for opening statements, and then there would be particular questions, and it would be timed, so it would cut off at certain times. But we're calling it Clash of the Titans because two people that we'd be really interested in seeing have very differing views. The first one, and I'm asking you to put it in the comments, not in the chat, put it in the comments after we're done.
Comments of the video,
or shoot,
yeah.
Comments to the video tonight. The first one that I got by request was scrapbooks. We know that Sasha, or we believe that Sasha does a lot of great analysis, and she has a lot of insight on the scrapbooks. We know Toby has said the scrapbooks don't mean anything, so don't waste your time with them, or that's what he said on his show. So somebody that was in the comments said, what if those two went Clash of the Titans?
So live, we come live, they're on. We ask the questions, we're kind of the moderators. Toby and Sasha would actually give both of their point of views. First thing I think of is when they had point counterpoint on the old Saturday Night Lives from the 70s. You remember those, K-Pro?
Yeah.
Dan Aykroyd and Jane Curtin. Yeah, I didn't think you did. Yes, from the late 70s. Dan Aykroyd, Jane Curtin. Point counterpoint. I'm going to find that drop, and you guys know exactly what I'm talking about if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. Okay, go ahead.
So the next step is I would reach out to both of them and say, one, are you willing? And this is how it would kind of go. What do you think? But that is an example. And then getting it all coordinated, we'd want to give each person a little bit of time. So I think, so if you have some of those ideas, of two people and topic, and then I will reach out to them. It's going to take a lot of coordination, so probably the first ones won't work because there's timing issues, there's all time zone issues, there's all of that good stuff.
Looking Glass says Toby versus Sasha, not fair. Well, what wouldn't be fair? In other words, we want your input, everybody. What two searchers? They don't have to be on YouTube. What two searchers, as long as they're willing to come on and debate each other and talk. That's all it is. I don't know what's fair about certain people.
For me, you look at Toby and Sasha, this is just my opinion. Smart searchers that have been around a long time.
Yeah,
have both met Forrest, have insight in very different ways, but also know how to research because I've seen both of their channels and both of their shows. I don't know if it would work out, but it's just an example. I'm not saying lots of people.
Copper Dan versus K-Pro, Cynthia versus Sassy, Davio versus MEH, K-Pro versus Cal. Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities. But again, the people involved have to agree to it, and they would get the questions ahead of time so that they can prepare their arguments, you could say.
This is just we're just first step.
Right now, it's just an idea. No. But if you know anything about me and K-Pro, we make things happen. So we'll see what we can do. Digging Gypsy and Dale. Hey, there's a good one.
Oh, that would be interesting.
Yeah, it would be interesting.
I think they're both up in the same general area. So.
And while we're talking about things, the other thing I want to do is if you guys go to Cowlazars.com, you'll see right on the video that's there is the after party that we did after the marathon. We had 16 people on at the same time, which I thought was going to be a mess. I thought people were going to be talking over each other, and it really wasn't that bad. So my idea is to do that again have an open Zoom with maybe 16 people. We don't have to make it an after party after the marathon. One of our regular shows. Why don't we just have 12 or 16 people on and we all discuss the chase? So that's another idea that we've been talking about. Rob Kittinger versus Fenny Bones.
Okay,
Niners versus Chiefs, Super Bowl. Yeah,
Living Glass says that would be favoritism to Toby. Okay, let me say up front, this isn't something that, and somebody said you need to pay each of, this is not that serious, guys.
Yeah, this is for fun.
Hey, do we want to do a new panel in a different way? Would there be, like, I would give everybody up front, there'd be time, I would do my best to moderate it. Actually, Mike and I would do our best to moderate, but if it goes to, like,
Covert One says we can start the trash talking now. Yeah, it's for fun, guys. Nobody has to do it. That doesn't
says he will debate Sean, New Mexico. That would be interesting. And did you see what
Sean, New Mexico is the Sean I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It would be cool.
Flip side?
Yeah. Sean Dotson versus MEH. How about Decal versus who could Decal? Cynthia, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, it would be interesting for sure.
Yeah,
there's a lot of possibilities.
We need the names and then the topic that you think that it would be interesting to see the debate.
And you could even email KPro with the questions that you think should be asked. You know what I mean? You can come up with the idea, or you could actually come up with the questions.
Before you come up with questions, I need to get them both people bought in.
But do you think that they would want to know what the questions are to decide if they want to come on and answer them, or no? Should you have to?
Why put in that much time if it's
that's true, because somebody just might be like, I'm not going on. Yeah, so that's true.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just an idea. Oh, Decal versus Bill Corman. There. Yeah, no, that one probably is not going to happen. So just an idea at this point, guys, but we hope we can make it happen in the future. We think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and Sassy wants to argue with somebody, so there you go. You could take
Jumbo says Sasha Johnson already won, in my opinion. That's funny.
That's
right?
awesome.
And then maybe the viewers can vote on who won, that type thing. We do
It just could be fun
I
because
don't know.
I know when Cynthia and I did this, not that we were Titans, but we did a North versus South. We did a lot of prep. Like she had the exact numbers of times New Mexico was named in TTOTC versus so it's just something fun. We're just trying to do a different segment. Like it's kind of like Toby driving with Toby.
Yeah,
it's just something different. We thought would be fun.
T Brown says man alone versus himself. That's pretty
Questions I feel like should be centered on the poem and clues.
Yeah.
Maybe that, you know what, that could be an interesting one. 9 clues, 9 sentences versus WWWH to Blaze. That could be an interesting. So anyway, this was just something fun. Let's not take
Randy says do shots during the debate. Yeah, that turns into something else, Randy. What about Dale? Yeah, maybe Dale would come on. How about Dale versus Jenny Kyle? You know, there's a lot of options. We just don't know who would do it and who wouldn't. But
well, so the first step is get me the names and the general topic, and if you want to add in anything extra, like here's some ideas, I will reach out to the different people and see, and then Mike and I will take it from there.
So email kpro3@aol.com. Okay, World Series of Fenn. Before we get out of here, what's the new updates, KPro, for everybody that's coming?
Okay, so World Series of Fenn, we're up to about 40. We've had 1 or 2 drop, 1 or 2 sign up. If you are coming, email me at kpro3@aol.com, please. And we're just trying to get a ballpark idea. We right now have gone over the amount for 2 rooms for the escape rooms. It looks like we're going to have a 3rd room, and that's going to be its own issue. Mike's going to go work with them on during the weekend because they have 2 rooms that are identical. They don't have a 3rd room that's identical. So we are going to have at least 2 different rooms for the escape room. So it doesn't make it perfect, but from a timing standpoint. So we have several people that are wanting to bring items for prizes for the World Series.
I think we're gonna have a lot.
Yes, we do. And Copper Dan, I don't have the picture. I couldn't get it over to Mike that quick. Copper Dan has made a brand new piece just for the World Series of Fenn. I believe it's called Canyon Down.
Show the last one, which is right there against the wall. I bought it from the person who won it, so you never know what possibilities might arise if you.
Yes, and I have 2 pieces, which I'm excited about. So anyway, so know that it is February 14th, 15th, so Valentine's Day in Vegas.
Yeah, come on.
And so we have a dinner the night before. We have on Saturday, we have a lunch, and then we have the escape room. And then we have the World Series of Fenn is at 7 o'clock. You need to check in at 6:30. And then it's all kind of informal from there. I know there will be get-togethers, and if you email me, you'll be on the email list when Mike and I might say, hey, we're heading down to the food court. Anybody who wants to meet up, we're heading down there.
Yeah.
So it'll be important, but it's important to RSVP because we are getting some nice little gifts and some things that we're doing. Mike has put a bounty on my head. Have you said what the price is for that?
No, I said I would not announce it until right before the poker tournament. But that depends if you and Dan have. If there's a last longer bet, then I'm not going to do it because that changes things.
Let's just throw this out right now. Copper Dan told me he's not even going to bring coin 3 with him to Vegas. Yeah, he talks big in this little chat room, and then he messages me or calls me, and he's like, "No, I'm not even bringing it." I'm like, what?
I think Dan just sent me a picture of the prize. Is that the actual prize, Dan? I'm not going to show it. We'll show it next week, or we'll show it whenever you say we can't show it. But is that the prize? What you just sent me? That's pretty awesome. If that's it, okay. Yeah, and there's a delay. Yeah, oh, cool. All right. I'm not going to spoil it. We'll have to show it at a future show. Well,
yeah. Okay. And
you got to email it to me to show it. Did you email it to me? Yeah, no, you didn't.
Okay. So, so what else?
Wow, somebody just, never mind. Email, if you want me to show it, you got to email it to me, Dan. I can't show my.
Oh, that's a great question, Sea-Dog. What if I win the entire tournament? Do I get the bounty?
Oh, that's funny. Wow, I never thought of that.
Oh, everybody realizes who's going to win this tournament. And
I'm sure people are going to put bounties on me because I said I was going to put them on you.
I did see. Did you see that email today?
Yeah, I did, which is pretty funny. Yeah, which is good.
No, I think if there's bounties,
it's going to be a lot of fun, guys. So just so everybody knows, for the poker tournament that's Saturday night at 7 p.m., before the tournament, everybody will know what all the prizes are. It's not like you're going to play and what do we, you know what the prizes are. Whoever comes in first gets their pick, then second gets their pick of the leftovers, and we keep going all the way down. Oh, you don't want to do it that way?
Well, let me ask you a question. I don't think you thought maybe some
I
of
probably
the
haven't
details
thought
that
it through.
I have thought, and we were going to discuss. What if there's 14 items between 2 different tables, and you have 2 tables, and it's knockout? What do you do then?
The 14 places. I don't understand what you mean.
So when you're in the World Series, they actually go table to table, hand to hand.
Well, we're not doing that. It's when you get knocked out.
Right, but what if you have 2 that get knocked out almost simultaneously?
Then it comes to how many chips they had. Whoever has the highest number of chips is the next person. I'll keep track of all that, I hope. Okay. Yeah. We're not getting into that kind of detail. We're not playing for millions of dollars here. Okay. Dan says he emailed it, so I get to show what Dan's contribution to the prize pool is. Let me share my screen.
Mark Connor, it's not a bounty game.
It's not
won't let us do the bounty game. Mike is just doing a fun little, I'm going to have a bounty chip on me, and that will be
there it is.
There it is.
You see it? So Copper Dan. Now, Dan, is this just for the World Series of Fenn, or is this a piece in a line of pieces that you're going to make like you did the other 2? And what do you call this one? What's this one called? So thank you. That's going to be awesome. So somebody's going to win this in the World Series of Fenn. See what he says. I know there's a delay.
It is called Too Far to Walk. I'm sorry.
Too Far to Walk? Oh, I didn't see it. Okay.
Yeah.
He'll let us know. But yeah, that's awesome. And I have your other 2 pieces, so when I win the tournament, I'm going to get this one too. Although that's just it. You don't know because you don't know what the other prizes are. It's a real Sophie's choice on which do you pick. If you come in first, there's so many awesome prizes. Which one do I pick? So yeah, that's a fun part too.
Yeah. Okay, so this will be, I think, a great time. I think we're going to have between 50 to 70 people there, between playing in the tournament, the escape room, all of that. Especially if you're already local in there, just head on down. We'll have a great time. You can hear Mike from the parking lot. His voice carries. So it will be, and some people have asked, like, will we break out and they want to talk solve and things? We don't do that as much here, but we will come down and talk to different people. We met different people for coffee and different things. We just don't want to make anything too private only because there's so many people. And and some people are real shy. They won't even give us their name. They'll just say, I'm Hunter.
You just give your screen name, or you don't have to say anything. Just come play. Czar, that's correct. They are doing a special time just for us. 7 p.m. is our tournament, not the daily ones they run. So that's correct.
Right. And so they don't officially, Czar, to let you know, they don't officially preclude anyone because per Nevada gaming laws, they have to include everybody, but they don't market it. They don't put it out. We didn't have anybody. If anybody wanted to kind of trickle in, that's not a searcher, they could. But that won't be for our prizes. That would only be for the tournament. The tournament that Bailey's is.
And we suggest everybody get down to the poker room by 6 p.m. that day because it's going to be busy. Get in, get your buy-in done, and then we could just have fun until we start. So, okay.
Yeah. Last thing, and I forgot about this. Somebody asked in chat. We need to talk about Fembry.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So, Fembry is going to be over the July 4 weekend. Jamie is once again putting Fembry together. She's got the, what's it called? The Lodge? You want to give that info
the lodge this year. So if you guys have been to previous ones, it's usually the outdoor facility and the campsites that may have some awnings over it. But she actually got the indoor. It's usually where they have weddings and things. An indoor space. She got it donated by the park. So she's really working hard on getting that put together. We're going to go much more formal and get all of that out. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, Fenbury.org, everybody. Fenbury.org if you want details on the World Series of Fen. Awesome logo. Look at that. Celebrating 10 years. And then this gives you the details, and then it will be added. As she knows more things, it will be added. And there you go. No glass containers are allowed, just so you know that. Yeah. So, will me and K-Pro be at the World Series of Fen? I mean, yes, we will be at the World Series of Fen. Will we be at Fenbury? I don't know. I can't commit to that right at this point.
I can't commit to it.
Yeah, so you don't know.
I'd
like to go.
Jamie, I'd really like to go, but there's between holidays, but
it's a lot.
Both have his and hers kids and things. So, where is Fembry held? It is at Hyde Park in New Mexico. Forrest usually comes for a significant amount of time. Usually gets around to everybody. It was like Operation Jamie. Like Forrest not only spent time in the bookstore, he came over to the Blue Corn. We must have gone over 5 or 10 different times with different searchers. It was just a huge fun event. I don't think he has as many people in his house as he used to. He more goes to the Fembry event and gets around, and and they had, from what I understand, I think both Rick and Sasha last year did a bunch of kids events and kids treasure hunts and kids activities.
It's a lot of fun, from what I hear. I've never been to one. I got to get down.
I haven't either. So it sounds fantastic. So, and it'll, Jamie's planning it, and she's been, she kind of headed up the planning with, a whole team, just like Operation Jamie had a whole team of us. And so they're going to do great as usual. So February sounds like it's going to be a blast.
Okay. I think that's it, everybody. Thanks for joining us as we go over the clips that have been released thus far. We will get back to the poem next week. And go ahead, Kipper.
There is a question from HR. Can people watch the poker game but not play? Yes,
of course.
There's actually a rail.
Yeah.
And you can stand at the rail. There's a couple tables there.
Yeah.
We had probably 15 that were watching last year. I expect about the same this year. I will tell you, a lot of people that watched last year said, I didn't realize so many people had never played because I've never played. I'm going to buy in this year.
Yeah, because the dealers tell you and help you exactly what you need to do. It's not like everybody's staring at you. We're all drinking. Yeah. We're all having fun. If you don't know, when you pay your $65 for the tournament, you get free drinks. As long as you're playing, you get to drink whatever you want for free. You just tip.
Oh, they gave it to me after I got knocked out, too.
Right.
But here's the cool part is the reason that we picked Bailey's is because they were the place that I learned to play poker. That was Mike's place. Really, really nice dealers. They will not call you out or put you in time, like, oh, you have to miss a round, like if you're a little bit off on the rules. Now, if you get obnoxious, they're going to hold you to it. But as long as you're doing, like if you try to do a string bet, if you do some of the rules that maybe aren't as strict, they'll warn you and just say, oh, don't do that the next time. Like put your money out once.
It's a real informal, fun time, guys. Don't think of World Series of Poker on TV. Copper Dan says, I never played before, and he took 4th place. He lasted longer than I did. I came in 7th place. So,
He's a cheater.
I don't know how, but he did. So, it's going to be a lot of fun. If you never played poker, don't worry about it. Just show up. We'll get you straightened out. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Nicest dealers in Vegas, hands down. And Czar, Saturday is the Chinese New Year, so I'm thinking I got to hit the poker room. There'll be a lot of gamble going on this weekend for the Chinese New Year. Okay, and I will say that last year, this weekend was the weekend we did it last year, the weekend of the Pro Bowl. So that's why this is my biggest work weekend. I will tell you in like a 5-year period.
And so I'm sorry that it did have to change. I can tell you next year we are going to move it back. And the reason for that is it is a lot more expensive, and we apologize, but my work had to come first. There was absolutely no way I was going to be able to go. And Mike's like, oh no, we're moving the date then. You're not going.
I'm not going to do it without K-Pro. This is a joint thing, guys. I'll let you guys in on a little secret. Without K-Pro, a lot of these things would never have happened. So that's just true.
That's not, but I need you as much as you need me.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Like on these channels.
Yeah, exactly.
How did you do a channel without me before?
I never went live. I do my little 12, 15-minute clips, and that was it. Yeah.
I know. And some people like those more than now. But anyway, okay, that's all I have. So we will see you Monday. I will. Cynthia said she needed a little bit of time to pull her notes of all the discussions about Canyon Dam. I'll see if she's available Monday. If she's not, who else wanted to come on? Oh, Joel Lewicki. Let's see if Joel.
Yeah,
Lewicki
Joel, if you're serious, come on for sure.
Yeah, let's have a guest either Monday or Thursday. Yeah, we still have a whole week. We still have like 2 weeks.
Right.
I was thinking it was 2 weeks.
And Randy, I got a question for you. I'm going to send you an email in like the next 10 minutes as soon as we go off. So check your emails. Nothing about clues. I just have a general question that you could post on Facebook if you want to for everybody. But check your email. Okay.
Craig Carter. Did you see Craig Carter's question?
Oh, yeah.
What goes to Vegas stays in Vegas. So
unless it's in the vlog, that's correct.
Yeah, I was going to say, you will see the vlog, and I don't think the vlog should I think there should be a benefit to going to these events. I think some things need to stay, like the after party, like by 3 a.m. There was no way that was being vlogged.
He says wrecked him, damn near killed him.
Okay. So, all right, everybody. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We hope everybody can show up, but we know some people can't make it. Super Bowl's coming up. That's the prop bets, I think, come out tomorrow. So definitely going to look at the prop bets for the Super Bowl. Maybe we could do a show on that, huh, K-Pro? Okay.
Prop bets are awesome. I didn't even know what they were, and we hit a lot of the long shots. It was
last year
awesome.
We did pretty good.
And we just bought all the little boards, and you got to tell me which team. That's D-Pro and I are going to be
San Francisco or Kansas City Chiefs. I don't know. It's going to be close. Point spread's -1. It's a close one. I may take the over under. I don't know who's going to win, so I'm not sure. If I don't know, I'm not going to bet.
I need a team to root for. Even if you put don't put a lot of money and just put a little bit of money, so then D-Pro and I have somebody to
then we can
for.
do that. We'll talk for sure. We'll do that.
This
This will be the weekend to go bet it. So yeah, we'll talk. All right, everybody. Thanks for joining in. We will be back on Monday, same bat time, same bat channel, but on the Hint of Riches channel. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
He says wrecked him, damn near killed him.
All right, that was an accident. All right, bye, everybody. We'll see you next time.